If you've never tried your hand at bread making before, then Focaccia bread is a really great place to start. And I'm going to show you how easy it is to make, and I'm going to give you some tips and tricks along the way to ensure that you get the best results possible. So, to start with, in a bowl, I have got 1.5 cups of warm water. And if you just put your finger in the water, it's kind of blood temperature, maybe just a little bit warmer than blood temperature. And that's the temperature you're looking for. So to that I'm going to add a teaspoon of sugar and a teaspoon of dry yeast, and I'm just going to give that a bit of a stir. Now the purpose of the sugar is it feeds the yeast, so it's really important to have that in there. And now I'm just going to let this sit to activate for 10 minutes, and then I'm going to come back and I'll show you the next step. Okay, so the yeast has been activating for 10 minutes now, and if you just come in close, I'll show you what you should be looking for. Now as you can see, the yeast is activated and there are bubbles all around the top of the water. Now if there are no bubbles, then it means that your yeast hasn't activated. So you need to start again. So chuck it out and start again. It could be that your yeast is old and it's died. Otherwise, maybe your water was not warm enough. But it's no point going any extra. But it's no point going further if it hasn't activated. Okay, so to the bowl, I'm going to add 2.5 cups of plain flour, or 375 grams. So I'll just pop that in there. And also a teaspoon of salt. And now we're just going to mix it together. Just until it comes together. Now you'll notice that the dough is quite wet, and that's how it should be. It's not like a stiff dough, it's just very wet like this. So once we've got to that stage, then what we're going to do is we're going to add a couple of tablespoons of oil to another bowl. It's just to oil the bowl. And then we're going to tip the dough into the oiled bowl. So far that's pretty easy, isn't it? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover it with a clean tea towel, and we're going to put it in a warm place to double in size. And what I like to do is I'll turn my oven on for a few minutes just to heat it up a little bit, and I'll pop it in the oven until it has doubled in size, and that will take about an hour. So after an hour, once it's doubled in size, I'll come back and show you the next step. Okay, so this has been proving in a warm place for an hour now, and as you can see it has doubled in size and it's quite bubbly. Okay, now here is a secret to amazing Focaccia. This next step is really important. What you're going to do is you're just going to oil the tip of your fingers, and then what you're going to do is you're just going to place your hands down the side and you're going to stretch the dough up like this and over itself, and you're going to do that on every 90-degree angle, just like that. It's a bit mucky, but what this does is it activates the gluten in the flour and it increases the elasticity of the dough. And that's all there is to it. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to tip the, sorry, I'll just clean my hands. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to tip the dough into a baking dish, which I have lined, and I've also added extra oil in the bottom there. It's 20 centimetres by 30 centimetres approximately, that's what we're aiming at. So tip that in there. As you can see, the dough is very wet, and that's what we're wanting. And now what we're going to do is, once again, we're going to oil our fingertips, and we're just going to spread the dough out to cover the base of the dish. And once again, we're going to cover with a clean tea towel and pop it back in a warm place, but this time for 20 minutes. Okay, so we've had another 20 minutes of proving, and as you can see, that's risen again slightly. And now what we're going to do is we're going to drizzle with oil. I like to use extra virgin olive oil. And now here's the fun part. We get to use our fingertips to poke holes in it, in the dough. And we're just going to do this motion here. And you can see, as I'm poking the holes in the dough, it's beginning to bubble up, and that's exactly what we're looking for. This is going to be amazing. Okay, so at this point, we can just add some flaky or coarse sea salt. I'm just using some Himalayan salt here. So you can bake this just as it is, or you can add other ingredients on top. You can add some sun-dried tomatoes, olives, caramelized onion, the sky's the limit really, or garlic. But I'm just going to add some fresh rosemary. Okay, so now I'm going to pop this into a preheated 210 centigrade oven. Now it's really important when you're cooking focaccia to have your oven really hot. So have it preheated before you actually pop it in the oven, and that helps crisp up the crust and makes it just to die for. You've got no idea how amazing the kitchen smells right now. There's something really satisfying about making your own bread. Now, a tip to know that your bread is cooked properly is if you just tap it and it has a hollow feeling, that means it's cooked through. So I'm just going to let this loaf cool down for about 10 minutes, and then I'm going to slice it up and really enjoy having a piece or three. So I hope you enjoy making this as much as I've enjoyed showing you how to make it, and I hope it's helped you along the way. Thanks very much for watching.